Hello everyone and welcome to my review for Kengan Omega Chapter 100. Before I get into this week's review, I do have to mention a few things. First of all, my subscriber goal for 2021, hitting 5,000 by the end of the year. We're already almost halfway there in March, so we're doing pretty well. And the other thing is, of course, my Patreon. If you'd like to support me and the channel directly, I'll have a link to that in the description below. It's $5 a month. If you decide to join, you'll get access to Solo Leveling and Omniscient Reader reviews. My review for this week's Solo Leveling chapter just came out a little while ago, so if you decide to join, you'll get access to that. So with that out of the way, let's get on with the review. It's finally here, folks, the big 100. We're finally in the triple digits for the chapters, and nothing super crazy happened. I think we're a little too used to the big 50, the big 100s, the hundreds being a bunch of big milestone chapters and having like some kind of important events in them. Probably also because chapter 50 of Kengan Omega was when we got Oma coming back, so we did have a little bit of precedent for, big important chapters like this, in theory, big important chapters like this having some kind of big crazy reveal. But this was still just like a normal chapter. And the content of this chapter was mostly about Jirota's backstory. We find out that he is a lot like Kuroki, which is what Kuroki had said last week, and that he was someone who was basically mastering judo and was reaching such a level of his mastery that he was too strong and he couldn't fight anyone anymore without it just being a cakewalk. Which was the same thing that happened for Kuroki. That was why he joined the Kengan Annihilation Tournament. And it was the same thing for Carlos, who he mentions directly, who had gotten too strong in, public boxing, which was why he went into the underground sphere, which kind of was what Jirota also did. But the reason he did this was because he had seen on TV that Meguro was like this up-and-coming prodigy who he thought would be a worthy opponent for him. But then a year later, the whole, murdering his dad and fellow dojo members thing, and he just disappeared off the face of the earth. So Jirota decided that he needed to enter the underworld in order to keep getting stronger, and so that he would have a chance to eventually face Meguro. So he trained in isolation for 10 years, entered Purgatory, and was just kind of waiting for the opportunity to meet and fight Meguro. But then, after another 10 years, he found out that Meguro had been killed in the Kengan Annihilation Tournament, which is why he's very happy to be fighting Meguro, quote-unquote Meguro now. Very happy to be fighting Hayami. His excitement does seem a little weird because he is just kind of beating the shit out of Hayami. I think he gets thrown like another 3 times this chapter. Hayami is in really rough shape. I'll have to talk about that in a second. But I guess it hasn't been a complete cakewalk because he's had to throw him this many times. I think Hayami mentioned last chapter that if it were a normal judo match, if they were operating under judo rules, he would have already lost because he'd been taken down. So he's kind of just stomping him. But the fact that he has survived this long, I guess, is a testament to how strong Hayami is in comparison to the other people that Jirota's been fighting. I assume most of the people that he fights get taken out in like one move. Though I am interested in what happened in his match with Lo Long, because he obviously lost, so it's safe to assume that he has been defeated by someone in the time that he's been in Purgatory. Maybe he's not still obsessed with finding worthy opponents, but it's just that he was finally able to fight Meguro, because he was like the one that got away, the one person that he never really had a chance to test himself against, and now that Hayami's here, he does have that chance. So that's cool. And he still seems to be insistent on the fact that he's Meguro, so now I'm wondering what are we going to see next chapter. The fight, like, Hayami is not doing well at all, so I feel like we'll probably have, like, another 2 chapters in the fight or so. That sounds fairly reasonable to me, fitting in a Hayami backstory and then more of the fight. So, yeah, that kind of sounds like how it'll go. So, Hayami. not doing very well. He has been getting his face smashed in, like, every few pages. He is bleeding profusely. His, I think, right eye looks kind of fucked up. It looks like it may even be, like, partially popped out or something. Like, it's really, really bad. And he does not seem to be in pain. He's got, like, a smile on his face. More of a, like, grinning, toothy smile than earlier. So, like, I'm a little concerned. Is the mask about to slip off? Is he about to go crazy and go back to the way Meguro was? Hopefully not. I hope it's all just, like, I'm waiting to be subverted. The subversion of my expectations will be having Hayami not be a crazy person like Meguro. But the end of the chapter is him getting Jirota into, I think, a triangle hold? So he's going for ground game here. I'm wondering how well that'll work. Because I guess in theory, Jirota won't be able to flip him again from this position. But, I mean, we'll have to see what else Jirota has at his disposal. Because so far, it's mostly just been him whooping Hayami's ass with just one move. So maybe he'll have more at his disposal. I would assume so, because there is more to judo than just flips. So I will have to see what happens with that. But I have a feeling that next week's chapter will probably be getting into Hayami's backstory, explaining what the fuck he is. What is Hayami? Why does he exist? Is he actually Meguro's younger brother? Is he a clone? What the fuck is he? I think we're going to be finding that out soon. And then we'll probably end the chapter after that. Possibly. I mean, with how it's been going for Hayami, I do think it's going to end probably in the next 2 chapters. I could be surprised. It could go on longer than that. It could end next chapter. But I don't know, like, how satisfying a conclusion you could get in with also having Hayami's backstory in there if it was in just 1 chapter. But yeah, so far this fight has been pretty good. It's been really good. I would probably place it 3rd. So obviously, Rihito versus Falcon is the best fight of the tournament thus far. Then after that, you'd have Ryuki versus Naidun. And then either tied or right after that, you would have this fight. I feel like once Hayami starts fighting back and we see what he can do, I'll probably put it higher than Ryuki versus Naidun. But yeah, it's been a pretty solid round so far. And it is giving me some hope for what the rest of this tournament is going to look like. I am going to make an alternate prediction here for a matchup, just so I can save face, because a lot of people have been insisting that Dongcheng is going to fight Okoye, and I'm like, I don't know. I still see it more likely that Lebanner fights Okoye, and if Nitoku is the worm on the Kengan team, then Dongcheng is going to fight him. But if Lebanner is, like, specifically someone that's hunting down worm members, and Nitoku is a worm member, I could see him fighting and killing Nitoku, and Dongcheng fighting Okoye. There you go. I'll give you a little bit of credit, and I'll just put this prediction out here now so that I'm not completely wrong in case it happens. But with that is all I have to say for this week's review. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. I do Kengan Omega chapter reviews every week. If you enjoy other series such as Record of Ragnarok, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Black Clover, I do videos in those series as well, so if you're interested in those, you should definitely check out my channel. If you enjoy discussing Kengan Omega with other people, or you just enjoy the content I produce in this channel, I highly suggest you check out my Discord server. I'll have a link to it in the description and on my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.